Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure we're all copacetic here. Let me make sure we are live. Hold on one sec. Hold on, hold on. Audio works. Beautiful. All right, let me just fix some stuff up real quick. Mm-hmm. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Hold on one sec. All right. Yes. All right. There we are. There we are. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful Monday morning. It is a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hold on 1 sec. Let's just make sure we got everything all set up, ready to go. Yep, just getting the announcements out. Ooh, let me fix this real quick. And yeah. But yeah, how's everybody's day going? How are you guys' weekends going? Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope it was nice and restful. I hope you got to enjoy it. I hope you got to relax. Hope you guys got to enjoy time with your friends, your families, all that wonderful, beautiful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys got to do all that. Yes, sir. All right. Let's get all the announcements all set up, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get the announcements all set up. All right. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. But yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. All right. There we are. There we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So right now I'm just taking a look at the JWEL. JWEL, ladies and gentlemen, this stock ran actually a nice 282%. All right, and our scanners actually picked this stock up early in the morning at 4:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, it had a nice little bit of movement going on there. All right. All right, all right, all right. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Mm-hmm. Oh, 1 sec. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Hold on. Hold on. Alrighty. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hmm. Let's see here. Alright. Everything should be pretty good. Alright. Beautiful. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. Ooh, let me make sure we are live on the YouTube. 1 sec. Alright. Alright. Hold on 1 second. All right. All right. Anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, got everything all set up and ready to go. Just getting all of the announcements out, and then we should be ready to go. But yes, ladies and gents, hope you guys had a wonderful day. Hope you guys had a fantastic morning. And yeah, as of now, JWEL ran up a nice 282%. Our scanner actually picked this up when it was just at 23% at 4:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's what we got going on right there. As of now, this stock actually had a movement right over here. Hold on. Moved up right here. Boom. Hit a pennant right over here. Right. Curled its way on up off the pennant right over here, and then proceeded to form another pennant right over here before shooting its way on up over here, forming a bit of a descending wedge right over here, curling its way on up, and then forming another pennant right over here. All right. So as of now, that's what we got going on for this stock. That is what we got going on for this stock right over here. Hold on, and let's just bring this over here. Bop. All right, so as of now, JWEL is in a bit of a pennant right here. Let's get some support and resistance lines for it right over here. All right, so as of now, this stock is currently on its way up over here. It is a bit consolidated just below the resistance line at $5.17. $5.17, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. All right, needs to break above that $5.17 mark for it to be so much maxi to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Marty says, good morning, Banger Nation. Good morning, and hello, doubles. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day, Marty. Hope you and the rest of the Banger Nation are having a wonderful day and making lots and lots of money. Money, 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 money. Money! Yes. Hope you guys are making lots of money and hope you guys are having a wonderful day. All right. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Just got to make sure to get the announcements out real quick. 1 sec. All right. All right. There we are. There we are. All right, all right, all right. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get the announcements out over here. All right. There we go. There we go. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hold on just a second. Just getting all the announcements out over here. Just got to get all the announcements out real quick. And all right. There we are. All right. And yeah, there we go. All right. All right, all right, all right. Legal says good morning, doubles. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Legal. Good morning. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, so as of now, let me just actually put this in X real quick. Hold on. Alright. You're like sharing it at the same time doing that. So let's start off here. JWEL. JWEL needs volume because JWEL has a 2 million float, 47 million volume right there. And looks like it needs to break above the $5.17 mark. It's a bit consolidated, so it needs volume to break the consolidation. below the $5.17 resistance line right there. Needs to break that 5.17 resistance line for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Needs to break that $5.17 resistance line right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. That's JWEL, JWEL. Alright, alright, alright. Okay. So, as of now, that's what we got going on right there. It needs to break about $5.17. After that, there's a high a day at $6.25 for it to break. And that's really what we got going on. That's what it has going on right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Nick on Facebook says, hello, doubles. Hello, hello. Good morning, Nick. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. This fine day, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Hold on one second right here. Boom. All right. All right, all right, all right. Hold on one sec. Oh, yes, here. Just getting everything all set up over here still. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. All right. All right, all right, all right. There we go. Here we are. Good. All right. Oh, let me make sure we're live on the Twitch and Facebook and all them. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Ish. Okay, good. TikTok. All right. All right. All right, JWEL is curling off the pennant right now. JWEL curling off the pennant. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Banger Nation. Good morning to the Banger Nation on TikTok. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hold on 1 second. Let's put this here. Get this over here. Bop right there. Hold on 1 second. All right. All right. There we go. And there we go. All right. Now we can fully concentrate here. So JWEL now curling above the resistance line at $5.17. Needs to break above $6.25, which is a high a day. Broke that resistance line. So JWEL needs volume to break the high a day. All right, broke. Hold on, JWEL broke the resistance line at $5.17. Needs volume to break the high day at $6.25. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go. Soul says, hey, good morning, Soul. He says, nice job. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Hope you're having a wonderful day. All right, let's take a look at STKH. STKH. All right, STKH now up 117%. Wondering if it actually was it higher than that. Let me take a look. STKH. Actually, yes, it was. STKH did have a high at 214% earlier this morning. We actually our scanner actually alerted this stock at $4.46, and currently, as of now, it did hit a high a day at $2, 214% right there. Before it was called at 4:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Prior to that run up 214%. So we got that going on right there. So STKH, STKH. All right. This stock appeared on our private Discord scanner prior to its run up 214%. There we go. There we are. There we are. All right, all right. So that's what we got going on right there for that one right there. There we go. There we go. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. And let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going on. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. There we are. All right. So yes, let me take a look at STKH over here. STKH had a nice move upward over here, pulled back a little bit, formed a slight descending wedge over here, then curled up off the descending wedge, and formed another descending wedge right over here, right below the VWAP, and now it actually has to break above the VWAP at $4.68 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Currently up 123% as of now, so we'll see what happens with this stonk. We shall see what happens with this stonk, but right now it has to break above that $4.68 mark right there. So STKH needs volume to break the descending wedge and the VWAP at $4.68 right there. That's what has to break above for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. That's basically what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Ooh, I should probably put it in here. Hold on 1 second. Good morning, good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Had to go check something out here. But yes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, ladies and gents, by the way, we have our wonderful, wonderful little thing, a little bit of news actually. We have something coming up at 2 o'clock. We have, 2:20? 2:20. 2:20, we have our Discord stream coming up at 2:20. All right, so basically what we got planned is we are going to have the microcap mornings, which is going to be normal for now, right? And then we are going to have the power play. And right after power play, we 2:20. All right, so in power play, all right, and this is that's for the free guys, right? Free. That's for free roll. Free roll. Yeah, the free roll. Yep. So basically, what we're gonna have is microcap mornings. After that, we have power play coming up at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then after that, by 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are actually going to be having our private Discord stream which is going to be for our free roll members.
Yep.
Our free roll members.
I'll give you the link in the
Yep.
description.
And link is going to be in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, actually, ladies and gentlemen. So I actually have that going on right there. Bear with me. I do have to get the link for it real quick so I can put it in the comment section as well. All right, give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. Hold on. But yeah, just getting everything all set up over here. All right. All right. I don't see it here. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get the link over here. Give me a sec. All right.
I got it for you.
All right.
It's in bucket end.
Okay. Yeah.
Just put it in bucket end.
All right. There we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. All right. Hold on 1 second. Yep. All right. 1 second. Let me actually get this for you guys. All right. There we are. All right. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Beautiful. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, yeah, so be sure to join our Discord right over here, and link is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, to go see the exclusive Discord live stream that is going to be happening at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We're preparing for Power Hour.
Yes, preparing for the Power Hour.
Going over stocks, answering questions.
Going over stocks.
Analysis.
Going over stocks. We're going to be answering questions, doing stock analysis, all that cool stuff, ladies and gentlemen, that we got going on right there. So yes, we got all that wonderful stuff going on. So be sure to join the free Discord to see the exclusive live stream there, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check that out, ladies and gents. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Be sure to get it. Hold on, let me make sure it's on X. Is it on X? I think so. Yes, it is. Okay, good. All right, and let's make sure it's on Twitch. All that good stuff. Beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, bear with me there, because it's a nice new thing that we got going on. So be sure to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check it out. Join the Discord. Make sure you get the roll. All right. Make sure you get the free roll, otherwise you will not be able to see it, so be sure to get that free roll. And then after that, yeah, basically just follow the instructions. You just got to click a button, really, you get the roll, and yeah, you should be good. All right, so let's continue on over here, all right? And then actually I'll bring it up a couple times to make sure like any new viewers that pop in, you guys get the rolls, and you guys make sure you don't miss out. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. All right. Okay, cool. So, STKH right now, still in a bit of a descending wedge right now, needs to break that VWAP at $4.68 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's take a look at ZJYL. ZJYL. All right, ZJYL, as of now, currently it is below the VWAP, ladies and gentlemen, below the VWAP as of now, and is currently on a bit of a downtrend too, so we got that going on. So as of now, ZJYL needs to break above the downtrend and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. So ZJYL needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP at $4.34 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. That's what we got going on right there for ZJYL. ZJYL. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, all right, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Bobo Beef says, howdy, howdy, Bobo. He says, here in Lima Charlie. Copy that, Bobo. Yes, sir. Give me 1 sec over here. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a share party going on. Let's get a share party going on. All right. Let's get a share party going on right here. Okay. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get to 300. 300, 300, 300. Let's get to 300, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. All right, there we are. There we are. Good, good. Okay. All right. And we'll continue on with AUUD. Give me just a second right here. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. All right. AUUD. Up next. AUUD. Let's take a look at it over here. AUUD currently up 84%. Has some unconfirmed Q2 earnings due in 11 days on Friday, August 21st after the market closed. That's what we got going on right there. So be sure to check that out right there. Yes, sir. All right. Let's get this descending wedge over here. Boom. All right. And it is curling up off the descending wedge right over MIA. There we go. There we go. All right. And Boba Beef says, JWEL had such a nice setup, didn't it? Yeah, man. Yeah, it did. It actually did have a real nice setup. It was pretty good. Not going to lie. It was a pretty good setup for it. It did run up a nice 282%. That was the high day right there. So as of now, AUD is currently broken above the VWAP at $1.49 and is testing resistance at $1.57 right there. So AUUD broke the VWAP. Alright. Actually broke the descending wedge and the VWAP. Descending wedge and the VWAP and is testing the resistance line at $1.57 for it to be somewhat schmexy to MIA. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's see over here. Let's see over here. All right. So that's AUD. 5 million float, 67 million volume right there. Can it break above that $1.57 mark? We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. All right. All right, all right, all right. Oh, also, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, so be sure to check that out. Again, link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out, ladies and gents. Be sure to check it out. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. Now let's take a look at DKI. DKI. All right, let's take a look at DKI real quick. All right, now DKI did shoot up nicely. All right, had a nice shot up earlier in the morning, but then formed a big old pennant right over here. All right, so now it really needs to break that pennant, needs to break above the VWAP at $7.64 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. That's really what we got going on for this one. It is a bit consolidated below the VWAP, so not the biggest fan of it as of now. This is a Hong Kong stock as well, with unconfirmed Q1 earnings due in 11 days on August 21st before the market opened, currently up 54%. So as of now, needs to break above this pennant and needs to break above the VWAP at $7.64 for it to be somewhat schmexy to MIA. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second right there. DKI needs to break the pennant and the VWAP at $7.64 for it to be somewhat schmexy to MIA. There we go. There we go. All right. Alright. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Let me see what we got going on. Let's take a look back at JWEL. Just want to take a look back at JWEL over here. Hold on. Let's see how it's doing. Alright, so JWEL did break above that $5.17 mark, pulled back a little bit below it, and it looks like it's trying to go back and curl up and test it again. So we'll see what happens there, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. Alright, sorry about that. Anyways, so, as I was saying, needs to curl up over here, needs to break the pennant right over here, boom, for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Needs to break the $5.17 mark right over there. Alright, so it still needs to break it. It did peak above it at one point, poked above the resistance right there. So JWEL poked above resistance at $5.17 and pulled back. Needs to break above that resistance line right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to mia. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go. There we go. Alright. Joab says, what's up, Banger Nation? What's up, Joab? Hope you're having a beautiful day, brother. Good morning. Alright. There we are. So, that's what we got going on. Let's take a look at STKH. STKH. Alright. STKH, as of now, needs to break above the $4.68 mark right over there. Alright. STKH needs volume to still break above the $4.68 mark right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me at the VWAP. Alright. Alright. But yes. Joab says, what's up, Doubles, Marty, and Bobo? What's up, Joab? Hope you're having a wonderful day, brother, man. Hope you are having a wonderful day. And I hope you're making lots of Joab money right there. Yes, sir. Alright. Hope you guys are doing well. And Marty says, hello, Bobo and Joab. Bobo said, what's up to Joab? Hello, everybody. Hello. Yes, sir. Alright. Hold on 1 second. And yeah. Alright. Should be good. Okay. Good. Alright. So, as I was saying, let's take a look at AUUD now. AUUD. Hold on. AUUD. Alright, AUUD currently curling off the descending wedge right now. Needs to break above $1.57, which it looks like it's poking above it right now. It looks like it's poking above the resistance right there. So we'll see what happens. AUUD poking above the resistance line at $1.57. It's not fully above it yet, so we'll see what happens, but it is poking above it a little bit. So we'll see what goes on, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what goes on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, and by the way, ladies and gents, be sure to check out our merch, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check out our merchandising. All right, be sure to check that stuff out, ladies and gentlemen. We got all sorts of cool stuff. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we've got lids, we've got cup and handles. And when I say cup and handles, I mean we have mugs, we have tumblers, we have mouse pads, stickers, all sorts of cool stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to support the stream and you want to help us make more stuff like these wonderful live streams and other cool things that we make for you, be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out that merch store and get some swag, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to get some swag. Joab and actually Bobo got some swag, and they got the Beeves Buckaroo. We got Stewie Stickman. We got that going on right there. We are currently working towards getting some wonderful Goldie Brickstorm merch going on there. So we're going to be getting that down the line, ladies and gentlemen. We will be getting that down the line. So yeah, be sure to check that out as well. Be sure to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. All right. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Let's get a share party going. Let's get the 500. 500, 500, 500. Let's get the 500, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right. JWEL, JWEL, right over there. It needs to break above the $5.17 line over there, and it still needs to break above that $5.17 line. So, not interesting to me right now. ZJYL, as of now, still needs to break that downtrend, and the VWAP at $4.33 right there. So, that's what we got going on. ZJYL needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP at $4.33 for it to be schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. What else we got going on? All right. We already took a look at AUUD. AUUD. Let's take a look and see what else we got going on here. Hold on. Hold on. All right. All right. Okay. Let's see. Actually, you know what? We'll look at AUUD. See what it's got going on right there. AUUD. Alright. Hold on one second. Give me a second. There we go. Wonderful. Alright. So again, AUUD currently up 89%. 89%, curling off the descending wedge right now, trying to test that $1.57 mark right there, which is where the resistance is. Has to break above that, and then has to break above the high day at $1.80 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Needs to become somewhat schmexy to mya. So we shall see what happens. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on one sec. There we are. Beautiful. Okay. So yeah, AUD as of now still testing that resistance line right there. AUD still testing the resistance line at $1.57. Needs to break above it for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Let's take a look at HUDI. That was another one that just popped up there. So we're going to take a look at it. HUDI. Let's take a look. HUDI currently has a bit of a, hold on, shot upward over here, pulled back a little bit, and formed somewhat of a pennant right over here, then curled off that pennant just a little bit, and formed another pennant right over here. Has some indecisive wicks going on there, so it's got that going on. I don't entirely trust it here as of now. Formed a bit of a resistance line right over here at $1.08. $1.08 right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Let's get the support and resistance lines over here. Bop, right there. So, as of now, $1.08 is currently the resistance line for this stock right here. Has to break above that $1.08 mark for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. HUDI is currently up 49% and is a China stock as of now. So, We'll see what goes on. But right now, it looks like it's curling its way on up. It looks like it's curling its way on up and broke above the resistance at $1.08. Needs to break above the $1.14, which is where the high a day is currently at right there. So it needs to break above $1.14 for it to be schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so HUDI, as of now, broke resistance at 108 and needs volume to break the high of day at $1.14 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll see what happens there, ladies and gentlemen. That's HUDI. HUDI. All right, AUD seems to be moving like crazy. What's it got that going on right there? Oh my, up 98% on AUD. AUUD. So that's what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. AUUD. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, AUD currently curling its way on up right now. Up 98% right there. 98%. All right. AUUD. All right, now AUD. Let's take a look over here. AUD did run up. Hold on. Yeah, hit a nice high of 98% as of now. All right, AUD hit a high at 98%. There we go. Needs volume to break the high of day at, hold on, $1.80. $1.80 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Give me 1 second. There we go. There we go. Hold on 1 sec. 1 sec, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Just had to grab something to drink real quick. All right, and I'm back. Hold on. Got me some orange juice. Woo, that's that stuff right there. Yes, sir. All right. Wonderful. So, let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to it. AUUD hit a high of 98%. 98%. Can it break above that? We'll see what happens. Has to hold above $1.57, which is the new support line as of now. Has to hold above it and break above $1.80 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. STKH. Let's take a look at STKH. Still a bit consolidated below the VWAP, ladies and gentlemen. Still a bit consolidated below the VWAP. Again, needs to break above $4.67 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. STKH, as of now, needs volume to break the VWAP at $4.67 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. There we go. Okay. So XHLD. XHLD is the next one right there. XHLD has a float of 10 million, volume of 6 million. So as of now, there's a bit of a heavier float with a light volume. So XHLD, heavy float, light volume. I don't entirely trust this one, not going to lie to you. Up 51%. Unconfirmed Q2 earnings due in 11 days on Friday, August 21st, before the market opens. So we'll see what happens there. XHLD. XHLD, heavy float and low volume as of now. Needs to break, needs volume to curl its way upward, ladies and gentlemen. Needs volume to curl its way upward. That's what we got going on for XHLD. It is trying to curl upward a little bit, but again, it's a low volume stock right there, so I don't entirely trust it right now. Not too schmexy, plus it did have some indecisive wicks at certain points. So, we'll see what happens there. SCKT just shot up like a rocket, ladies and gentlemen. Just shot up like a rocket just now. So we'll see what happens there. Currently, it hit a nice move up 174%. 174%. SCKT, all right, has a 6 million float, 6 million volume right there. SCKT shot up like a rocket just now. All right, SCKT shot up like a rocket, up 174%. 174%. All right, there we go. Oh, yes. Needs to break the high of day at $1.15. Needs to break the high of day. The high of day at $1.15 for it to be somewhat schmexy to Mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Carlos asks for KO. All right, we'll take a look at KO. Give me just a second. 1 second. Hold on. And we will take a look at KO. Give me 1 sec. All right, all right, all right. Hold on. All right, there we are. STKT. There we go. Popped up right there. There we go. All right, all right, all right. So, Carlos asked for KO. Oh my, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Give me just a second. What the? Whoa. That's a very big jump. I do not entirely trust this stock. It just shot up to 700%. Wow. And then pulled back down to 288. Okie dokie.
Which stock is that?
That is Sierra Charlie Kilo Tango. Yep. I do not trust this stock. Oh boy. I would just say it hit 293. Yeah, 298. Yep. Now it's back to 298. Okay. All right. Whoa. Okay. SCKT now up 293%. 293% right there. So that's what's got going on. There we go. There we go. All right. And now I'm going to take a look at KO. Yes. Gonna take a look at KO. Alright. Let's take a look, see what we got going on. See what we got going on now. Alright. So, KO. That's the next one, KO. Alright. Coca-Cola Company. Alright. Alright. Now, think about the stock. Alright. Is number one, very expensive. Okay. But number two, it's very, very choppy. So, let's take a look over here. Let's zoom in the room. Alright. So we got to look over here. Alright, let me get the graffiti pencil activated. Boom, right there. Alright, so you're going to see chop over here. Massive drop over here with more chop all over here. All over here. All over here. And all over here. So as of now, this stock is currently down 0.02%. And is very expensive with very choppy amounts of volume right there. So we'll see what goes on. But as of now, KO, very choppy. Very choppy. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me see what the float is for this stock. I'm assuming it's a very high one, but we'll take a look. Very high float, low volume type of deal. So I don't entirely trust it right now. SCKT is now 399%. There we go. All right, but KO, let's take a look over here. Yep, 4 billion and change. Volume is 71,000. So extremely heavy float, low volume for KO. All right. So KO, number one, expensive. Heavy float with light volume right there. Needs to break the choppy price action and indecisive wicks. That's really what's got going on for KO. So that's what we got going on right there. That's what we got going on. SCKT, what's going on with this stock now? Up 418%. Woo, 420. Oh boy, it's the number. It's the number. Oh boy. Oh my. Okie dokie. This stock is very, very sporadic. 6 million float, 26 million volume right there. Currently $2.20. Alright, and then pulled back. So it hit 470% right there. 470%. It did hit 700% at a time and then just dropped back down. I'm like, you know what I mean? 498% though. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. So SCKT. SCKT. Now up 498 for 516% right there. 516%. Well then, okie dokie. STKT now up 516%. Well. Okie dokie. It be like that, ladies and gentlemen. It do be like that sometimes. Alright. There we go. Alright. So, as we were saying now, let's take a look over here. Let's take a look back over here. Alright, let's take a look at VREX. VREX over here. Okay, so VREX doesn't have a price right. Well, actually, it does have a price. It is currently $18.41 as of now. Varex Imaging shares are trading higher after the company reported Q3 financial results and announced it will be acquired by Teledyne, which makes sense because normally when it has this type of consolidation right here along the VWAP at $18.44, like this, where it's like in a straight line like that after just a big old move upwards, yeah, it's an acquisition play, so that tends to track. All right, it's currently up 48% with a conference call scheduled for today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Q3 earnings were released today before the market opened, so we got that going on. All right, so VREX is an acquisition play, obviously, so it is consolidated. VREX, consolidated acquisition play, up 48%. Needs volume to break the VWAPA at $18.44. Honestly, I mean that's an acquisition play, so I don't entirely think much is gonna really come of that one, in my opinion at least. That's just my opinion though. All right, but who knows? Maybe something might come of it. It is an acquisition after all, so you never know. You never know, ladies and gentlemen. You never know. Let's get a share party going on, ladies and gents. Let's get to 900. Alrighty. Hold on one sec. Alright. There we go. Alright. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Let's get a share party. Let's get to 900. Let's get to 900, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Alright. Okay. There we are.
STKT moving.
Oh my.
Moving.
Is it going? Oh, yep, there it goes. STKT now 534%. Oh my. Moving towards the next resistance. Yes, sir. Moving towards the next resistance at $2.60. Moving right there. STKT now 578%. 586%. All right. STKT now up 576%. Excuse me, 586%. That's how high it went just now. 586% up right there. Testing. All right. Testing resistance. At $2.60. 260 right there. Needs to break above that 260 mark right there. There we go. For it to be even more schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Carlos says, thanks, bro. My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. Yes, sir. All right. Hold on one second. Let me just put this over here real quick. All right. There we are. All right. Beautiful. Alrighty. Alright, so there we go. That's STKT right now. STKT. Alright. So, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. The link to join is in the description down below as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check it out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. And also, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our free Discord as well to see the Discord exclusive live stream that's going to be happening there at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So be sure to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Get your free roll. It's free. Who turns down the letter free?
You guys asked for it, we got you.
Yeah, you guys asked for it, we got you. All right. A lot of requests actually came in for that, so yeah, why not? We got you. We got that going on right there, so
Premium
be sure to
stuff
check
is
it
where
out.
it's at, though.
Yeah, the premium stuff is definitely where
We
it's
got
at,
a
though.
4-day trial for that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. The premium stuff is where it's at. Like, you get the free one, that's cool and all, but but the premium is where it's at. You can get a 4-day trial for real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. All right, so link to join us in the description down below. Be sure to check it out. Be sure to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, be sure to check out our merch. We got all sorts of cool stuff. We got T-shirts. We got hoodies. We've got tumblers. We've got cup and handles. When I say cup and handles, I mean mugs. We got lids. What I mean, say lids, I mean we got hats. We got all sorts of other cool stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We have, for example, mouse pads. We have other cool things like, for example, what's it called there? Them tumblers there. The tumblers. Yes, sir. And stickers, too. We got stickers, too. Yes. So, yeah, we got all that cool stuff. All right. Again, link to get all these things is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check it out. Get that free Discord. Get the free roll. And, of course, if you really want to make, if you really, really, really interested, get that 4-day trial. Trust me when I tell you that's where it's at. That's where it's at. The free one's cool, but I'm just saying the premium one's a lot better. Anyway, so there we go. There we go. STKT now up 601%, 607 right there. There we go. 612%. Oh my, 617%. Climbing its way on up right now. 617% STKT. STKT. There we go. 617% STKT. Now up 617%. 617% right there. Climbing, baby. Climbing, baby, climb. Climb, baby, climb. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Climb, baby, climb. All right, all right, all right. STKT now up 617% right there. Boom. There we are. Yes, sir. Tis a thing of beauty, ladies and gentlemen. It's a thing of beauty. Alright, alright, alright. Alright, alright, alright. Woo! Alright. Alright. There we go, there we go. Alright, so has to break above 260. That is the next resistance right there. 260 is the next resistance for it. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens there. Alright. Let's see what else we got going on. JWEL. JWEL. Let's see how JWEL's doing. Pulled back. Ah. Alright. Well, that happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. Alright. JWEL. Pulled back below the VWAP right there. JWEL pulled back below the VWAP. Needs to break the VWAP once again. It needs to break that downtrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. So that's JWEL right there. JWEL needs volume to break the downtrend. And the VWAP at $4.46 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alright, so while that's going on, STKH, STKH. Alright, pulled back a little bit. Pulled back a little bit. Alright. Needs volume to curl its way on up right there. STKH. Needs volume to curl back up and break the VWAP at $4.65 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right there. All right. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. Hold on. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to a nice, wonderful 1200. Let's get to 1200, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 1200 right there. We are 9 minutes away from the bell. The bell! It deafens me. Ah. All right. So, let's take a look at BWMN. That's a new one that just popped up. 12 million float, 33,000 volume. So I don't exactly expect much from this, but we'll take a look at it anyway. BWMN. BWMN. Yep. Nope. This looks like it's definitely going to be acquired by something. Oh, yep, it is. All right, so Bowman Consulting Group Limited, BWMN, currently up 55%. Shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 results. The company announced that it will be acquired by Bernard Capital Partners, and they have a conference call scheduled for tomorrow at 9 a.m. And of course, Q2 earnings released today before the market opens. So that's what we got going on right there. BWMN, as of now, heavy float, low volume. BWMN. All right, heavy float, expensive with heavy float. Heavy float and low volume. Acquisition play consolidated slightly above VWAP. So that's what they got going on right there. That's BWMN. BWMN, meh, not my kind of party there with BWMN. So I don't entirely trust it right there. So meh, not the biggest fan of it. We'll see what happens with some other stonks, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's take a look at AUUD. AUUD. All right. AUUD needs to break the descending wedge right over here. Needs to break that descending wedge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Formed another descending wedge off the descending wedge. So, we've got to see what happens. Needs to break that 143 resistance line and needs to break 157 as well as 149, which is where the VWAP is. So, AUUD, AUUD. Forming another descending wedge. Needs volume to break the resistance line at $1.49 right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1300. 1300, 1300, 1300. Yes, sir. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay. All right. So, that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. So, JWEL. JWEL. Let's take a look over here. JWEL. All right. Needs volume to break above the $4.46 line, which is resistance, which is basically the VWAP as well as the resistance line right there. Needs to break above 446 for it to be schmexy to meow. JWEL looks like it's trying to curl its way on up slightly. We'll see what happens right there. JWEL attempting to curl off the downtrend. Needs volume to break the VWAP at 446 for it to be schmexy to meow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. Okay. There we go. There we go. As JWEL. JWEL. Alrighty. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Okay. Alright. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see, let's see. And let's get a share party going up to 1400. 1400. Yes, sir. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right. There we go. So, yeah, that's what we got going on right there, ladies and gents. That is what we got going on. So, yeah. All right, we are just 4 minutes away from the bell, ladies and gentlemen. 4 minutes away from the bell. Alrighty, we shall see what goes on. JWEL currently a bit consolidated below the VWAP, just a little bit below the VWAP, so we'll see what happens there. Alright. Alright, alright. So, yeah. Alright. Let's take a look at STKT. STKT. Alright. Currently consolidated just below the resistance at $2.60. STKT, slight consolidation. STKT consolidated just below the resistance line at $2.60 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Alright. Alright. AUUD. AUUD. Curling needs to break that $1.43 resistance line, and it looks like it's testing it right now. AUD curling up towards the resistance line at $1.43 right there. For it to be so much mexy to me, still needs to break that VWAP, so we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. That's AUD as of now. Alright. Another stock that just appeared has a 36 million float, 5 million volume. I don't exactly trust this one. SLN, we'll take a look at it. SLN up 39%. Silence Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced top-line results from the Phase 2 Sanreco trial, which met its primary and secondary endpoints. Q2 earnings were released today before market open. So you got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right. So, let's see here. Let's get this pennant over here. Boom. And boom. All right. Needs to break this pennant. Needs to break the VWAP as well at $16.97 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Alright, but SLN does have a heavy float, light volume right there, so I'm going to put that up there. SLN, heavy float, and light volume needs to break the VWAP. Well, it needs to break the pennant and the VWAP at $16.97 with volume right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. That's SLN right there. SLN. There we go. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alright. Alright. There we go. Alright. Let's see what else we got here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what else we got. STKT. STKT. How's it holding up there? Looks like it's peaking slightly above the resistance line of $2.60. STKT peaking above the resistance line at $2.60 right there. It's peaking above that resistance line, so we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Alright. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the bell. The bell! It deafens me. Ah! Alright, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. It's time for the bell. It is time for the bell. Alright. So, as of now, that is what we got going on right now. Let us take a look, see what else we got, and let's get a share party going. Let's get the 1500, 1500, 1500, 1500. Right there. Yes, sir. Alright, alright, alright. Alright. Okay. Let's see here. You know what? Let's take a look at JWEL. See how it's doing. Yeah, JWEL fell back. It happens. It did have a nice run earlier in the day, up 282%, but needs to break this VWAP at $4.46 for it to be, excuse me, $4.45 for it to be so much mexy to me. It did have a nice run early in the day, but I mean, hey, you know, it happens. A lot of times that happens in life. You know, it pulls back. JWEL needs volume, curling off the downtrend, curling off the downtrend, needs to break the VWAPA at $4.45 for it to be so much mexy to Mia. There we go. There we go. Alright, that's JWEL. JWEL. Let's take a look at FEAM. Alright. 5E Advanced Materials shares are trading higher after the company announced that it received the White House's recognition of its Fort Cady Integrated Boron Facility and the Export-Import Bank of the United States' $8 million investment supporting the project. So that's FEAM. FEAM, 26 million float, 3 million volume right there. All right. Apparently has been paid by the White House to do stuff. So, yeah, that's what we got going on right there. FEAM, Foxtrot Echo Alpha Mike. This one has a heavy float, low volume. FEAM, heavy float, and low volume. Price spike. Needs to break the... Alright, let's get some support and resistance lines for it. Boom. Boom. Right there. Needs to break the $2.23 line for it to continue to move up. Needs volume to break that area right there. Needs volume to break the $2.23 resistance line right there. That's FEAM. FEAM. Majed Al-Hoshan asks for AUUD. Alright, brother, let's take a look at AUUD, see how it's doing. AUUD. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. So, AUUD, as of now, curling its way on up right now. Curling its way on up off the descending wedge. Needs to break the VWAP as well. Needs to break the VWAP at $1.49 right there. So, as of now, it did have a nice move earlier. Pulled back into a descending wedge. Curled up. Formed another descending wedge. And looks like it's trying to curl up some more. Needs to break above that VWAP at $1.49 for it to be so much maxi to me. Then after that, it has resistance at $1.57 and then $1.80 right there. This is a 5 million float stock, 84 million volume. Was a bit overbought on the RSI, but you know, as of now, it's not overbought on the RSI. It's not overbought or oversold, so we got that going on right there. Yes, sir. All right. All right, all right, all right. So, that's pretty much it for me, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty much it for me. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. the moolah, the loots, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. And ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our wonderful free Discord to see the exclusive live stream there at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after Power Play, which is going to be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll get into that in just a moment, but be sure to also check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99, which is the full boat. All right, that's the full boat. You get the free stuff. It's like a little idea,
taste.
little taste. It's a taste. It's like a taste test. You know what I mean? It's a taste test. So, right? But you're gonna want the whole meal. You gonna want the whole meal. Right? You know, I mean, you gonna get fed. You want to, we cooked on that. You know what I mean? Cooked on that, right? All right. It's a little taste test. It's like a Costco sample. Right? So that's the free Discord right there. So be sure to check out the free Discord to get a taste of what we do. And then after that, be sure to check out that 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to both of those in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check it out. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our merch as well. We got all sorts of things there: t-shirts, hoodies, hats, tumblers, mugs. We got all sorts of cool stuff, mouse pads, stickers, all that wonderful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we got going on. That is what we got going on. All right. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to stay tuned for 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Power Play, hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money, as he traverses the stock market prior to the Power Hour, where he likes to basically, that's going to be on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be on YouTube. At Coaching Money, right there. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You're going to find us on X.com, a.k.a. Twitter, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. And you can find us on Twitch, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us on Facebook and, Facebook, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us on Instagram and Threads, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us on the TikTok, Tiki-Taki, a.k.a. the Tac Tac. The Tac Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBL NICKS. And the screen name is Coach Nick Money. 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 All right. And then. Yeah, well, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then afterwards, the Discord at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes. Right there. So you got Power Hour on social media. That's going to be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after, Power Play, right? And then afterwards, at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the free Discord, where you can get the link in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. Be sure to check it out. All right. Once there's the exclusive Discord stream for Power Hour.
Getting ready
for Power Play.
Stocks.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of stock reviews.
Questions.
Yep, all sorts of cool stuff. Answering questions, stock reviews, looking at tickers, all that wonderful, cool stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, quick thing before we wrap up. If you've been watching and you're serious about trading small caps, don't just sit on the outside trying to piece it together, because we got that 4-day full access pass for only $9.99, and it's full access. So you come inside, you get to see how we actually operate live. You get to see how we structure trade ideas, how we map levels, how we think about risk, how we handle momentum. You also get access to the next day early watch list and the 24/7 market news flow, which is on the right-hand side of the screen right there. You also get access to the pre-market, regular hours, and after-hours scanners with the float, volume, catalyst, context, and hyperlinks built right in, one of which is on the left-hand side of the screen right there, so that all the information and due diligence is at a touch of a button right there. You also get access to our ticker tape, built to catch stocks when they're starting to heat up, but before they go parabolic, because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't do noise, we do structure. And if that's how you want to approach this market, grab the 4-day pass and come see it live. Links to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check it out. And when you come in, let us know. When you come in, let us know you saw us on the stream. We'd love to hear from you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, much love. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I'll see you at 1:30 p.m. for Power Play, and then 2:20 p.m. on the free Discord for the continuation of Power Play. Much love, everybody.